Okay, morning everybody. Hope you had a nice weekend. I am just going to go through Friday's homework. So these were the quadratic equations, but they were wrapped up in a word problem that you had to kind of decipher. So we had a garden in the shape of a square. So square is going to be important because obviously a square has the same length as it does width, and that's normally important in a question. Of side 5 meters. Calculate the area of this garden. Okay, so it's a square. So to get the area of a square, you do length by width. In this case, they're both the same, so it's 5 by 5, which is 25 meters squared. Okay, another garden is in the shape of a square, and this is x meters long. Okay, and part B asks, write an expression for the area of this garden. So the area is still a square, so it's still going to be length by width, but this time it's x multiplied by x, which is x squared meters squared. The area of this garden is equal to 100 meters. So the area of this garden that we just found the area of is 100 meters. Okay, it actually says is equal to. So they're asking us to write an equation. So that is easy enough. We take our x squared, which is our expression for the area, and we let it equal 100, which is what the area actually is. Yeah? Part D says, hence find the side length of the garden. So what that essentially says is find x, and find x is solve. So they want us to solve this. So there's actually two ways you can solve this. So I'll just do both. You can leave it as it is here and recognize that you don't want x squared, you want x. So if you take the square root of this, cancel it out, the square root of this, then you get x equals 10 meters. The other way to do it is using quadratic equations, which, when we're trying to solve a quadratic equation, we must have equals 0. And obviously here we have equals 100. So we'd have to minus the 100 and minus the 100. Cancel it out. So then we get x squared minus 100 equals 0. We recognize this is a difference of two squares because we have the squared term and we have the constant term. So we ask ourselves what's being squared in both cases. We do first minus second and first plus second. And then we split the page. Okay, so we let x minus 10 equals 0 and we let x plus 10 equals 0. This this is plus 10 to cancel and then a plus 10 over here. This is a minus 10 to cancel and a minus 10 over here. So we get x equals 10 and we get x equals minus 10. Because x represents a distance, we can reject this because distances can't be negative. Okay, and we get our x equal to 10. Now, I don't want to go into it in too much detail, but that brings up kind of an interesting talking point because essentially both of these equations, you're solving the same thing. And obviously, when we did it using the difference of two squares on the right-hand side, we got two answers. But when we did it using square roots on the left-hand side, we only got one. So actually, anytime you do a square root, you should acknowledge both answers. Okay, because if you think about it, right, that equation there, x squared equals 100. Okay, let's say x is 10. Okay, so I'm going to put 10 in for x. 10 squared equals 100. Is that true? Yes, it is. 10 squared equals 100. What if I put in minus 10? Minus 10 squared equals 100. Is that true? Yes, it is, because minus 10 squared, you're doing minus 10 multiplied by minus 10, so the two minuses give you a plus. So actually, anytime you use a square root to cancel out a square, you should always acknowledge that there are two answers. Okay, that's a really kind of important thing. It sort of just pops up, and may as well have talked about it there. So anyway, the answer is 10. And then find the perimeter of the garden. So if it's 10 across the top and 10 down the side and 10 across the bottom and 10 up the other side, it's going to be 40 meters in perimeter. Yeah, 10 on each side. Okay, the other one then, let y be a natural number. Another natural number is 3 more than this number and can be written as y plus 3. Okay, so we might go over here. So this is question, this is question 2. Okay, so our first number is y, and our second number is y, was it plus 3 or minus 3? Plus 3. These two numbers are multiplied, okay, and show that the expression for the product, remember product just means multiply, of these two numbers can be written as y squared plus 3y. Okay, so we need to multiply them and see if that's what we get. Okay, so I'm going to take y and I'm going to multiply it by y plus 3. So that's where, I'm going to take this y and I'm going to multiply it by this one, and I'm going to multiply it by this one. So y by y is y squared, and y by 3 is 3y. Is that right? Yeah, y squared plus 3y. Then it says the product, and again, remember that all those words mean the same thing, product and multiply. The product of these numbers is 40. Use your answer to part A to write an equation. Okay, so there is the product. So the product of the two numbers was y squared plus 3y, and they've now told us that that equals 40. Okay, and yeah, as expected, last part says solve. And we're supposed to find two natural numbers, so let's hope that we do. Okay, so for part C, we're going to try and solve this. Remember, to solve a quadratic, we must have equals 0, and that is not what we have. What am I doing? Sorry, this is what I want. So we don't have equals 0, we have equals 40, so we're going to have to deal with that. Okay, so y squared plus 3y equals 40. I want to minus that 40 to give me a 0, but then I'll have to minus 40 over here. So I have y squared plus 3y minus 40 equals 0. And now hopefully you can see that it's a guide number. It's a trinomial. So the guide is the number in front here, which is a 1, by the final number here, which is minus 40. So that's a guide of 1 times minus 40, which is minus 40. Ignore the minus and do your factors of 40. So that's 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 3 doesn't work, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, 40 divided by 6 doesn't work, 7 doesn't work, and then we're back to 8. So we're done. Okay, so then we're trying to find which one gives us plus 3. Oh, this one does. Okay, a 5 and an 8, you'll be able to get a 3 out of it. So we need plus 3, which means we need the 5 to be minus and the 8 to be plus. Okay, once we've got that, we go back over here and we split the 3 up into minus 5, don't forget your y, and plus 8, don't forget your y. And then you have your minus 40. Then we make our two groups. So first group and second group. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Hang on, see if I can get this to. No. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to close it. Hang on, I'll have to write that last bit again. That's annoying. Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen again. Right, where did it start? Freezing. So this was 5 times 8, and I was looking for plus 3. I found it here. I made, what was it, this minus and this plus. No. Okay, we're still okay. Right, I should have room here. Okay, so y squared minus 5y plus 8y minus 40 equals 0. Pair it off, so first 2 and second 2. Oh, sorry, not there. Here. Okay, so the common factor in the first 2 is y, and then we open up our bracket and we're going to divide by y, divide by y. So y squared divided by y gives me y, and then here the y's cancel and I have minus 5. The next one I'm going to go with plus 8 and open up my bracket. So I'm going to divide this by plus 8 and I'm going to divide this by plus 8. So the 8's cancel in the first one. 2 pluses is just a plus, so I just have y. Don't know why all my colours changed there. Minus and a plus is minus, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. Yeah? So do the brackets match? They do, so there they are there. So we write down y minus 5, and then we get the other bracket from the bits that are out here, which is y plus 8. Okay, then we insert our line to split the page. Okay, so I let y minus 5 equals 0, and I let y plus 8 equal 0. So then I have plus 5 to cancel and plus 5 to balance. Excuse me. So y equals 5. And then on the other side, I have minus 8 to cancel and minus 8 to balance. So y equals minus 8. Okay, so let's go over and have a look. Solve this equation to find the two natural numbers. Okay, so if you remember, the first number was y and the second number was y plus 3. Yeah? Okay, so we have, sorry, it's all stuck now, but we have two options, okay? So we either have the 5 or the minus 8. It says they have to be natural numbers, which means the minus 8 will be rejected, okay? Because it's not natural. And we'll go with the 5. This is, I'm going to have to excuse me, I'm going to have to do all this again. But anyway, so that means that y has to be 5. And that means this is 5 plus 3, which means that's 8. So the two natural numbers are 5 and 8. Okay? So that's the homework. I'm going to shut this down again. I will go in and fix that so that you have the whole homework. Very annoying when this happens. I'm not even sure why it happens, but anyway. Okay, so yeah, you can see I don't have the end there. So I'll put the end back in. Now, that's actually the ordinary level part done. So we're moving here into the higher level part. You'll notice when you look at the keywords, so solving, when you solve something, what you found is either solution or roots. We talked about the word roots. I don't think we mentioned solution, but those two, they're basically the same thing. So when you get your two answers, you found a solution or you found your roots. Factors we talked about, and we talked about factorizing, which probably should be there as well. Then we did highest common factor, which was our first type, difference of two squares, second type, and quadratic trinomials was our third type. Guide number, we did. Okay, so the only new things in this chapter are the last two, the quadratic formula and third form, okay? And they're actually part of the same thing, okay? But what they do with your 3 types, so see in here your 1, 2, 3, the questions are just a little bit harder. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, not massively, okay? And I kind of did it as well in the last chapter. See, like in the ordinary level ones, you know, when you have your squared term, so whether it's a trinomial or any of them, okay, the squared term tends to just be like this. So it's like x squared minus 25. They don't put a number here. Like your trinomial is like x squared plus 6x plus 8. They don't put a number here. Like pretty much every one of those guide numbers, I had to insert a 1. In the higher level questions, there tends to be a number in here that you multiply. Like, so in this one, obviously you multiply this by this. In this one, we actually did examples because I gave you the homework on difference of 2 squares. So I actually did examples of having a number there. So that's really the only difference. So I picked a couple of questions here on all of the types. So there's a couple of difference of 2 squares at the start. There's a couple of trinomials. Don't see any highest common factor, but it doesn't matter because you're practicing highest common factor inside the trinomials. You know, the bit where you take the 2 groups, you're basically doing highest common factor twice there. And then I have a couple of fraction ones here. So, like, we've handled fractions before. With fractions, your basic aim is to get rid of the fractions as quickly as you possibly can. Okay, so like in the first one, because all the bottom lines are 3, you would multiply everything by 3. And that would cancel them all out. The second one, we have a 2, and then this one you'd have to put over 1. So you always multiply by the biggest bottom line. So on that one, you'd multiply by 2. And here we have a 14, a 7, and a 14. So again, you multiply by the biggest bottom line. So in that one, you'd multiply by 14. So you multiply the first one by 14, the second one by 14, and the third one by 14, and then do whatever adjustments are necessary. Okay? And then in this last one down here, what they've done is just messed with it. Can you see, like, you have a minus out here in front that you don't want. You have a minus here that you don't want because we can't really work with that. We need that to be not a minus, I suppose. And then here, see, they've messed up the order. It's supposed to go c squared, then c, then the 6. So for these ones, you just have to fix them so that they look correct. So if you have a minus that you don't want, all you do is change all signs. Okay? Once you change all the signs, it's fine. Okay, so your minus 10x squared will become a plus 10x squared. Your plus 37 will become a minus 37. Your minus 7 will become a 7. And your 0, it doesn't matter if you change the sign because 0 doesn't have a sign. So once you change absolutely all of the signs, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to get you to try a few of these. And that's basically, so this is not anything new. Like I said, the questions are just a tiny bit harder. Okay, so we'll go with 19. Oh yeah, 20 and 21. Won't do them. We'll do 19. No, actually, sorry, I'll take out 19 and we'll do 21 and then we'll do 32. Okay, I'm actually going to take that one out as well. Okay, so 20, 21, then this 21 and then 32. Okay, so I'll throw them into your journal. And they're due for Wednesday. Have them ready to go at 9 a.m. Sorry, I'm just checking my timetable here. Yeah, so on Wednesday we're gonna have a live lesson. I'm gonna try and keep your live lesson on Wednesday. So at 9:40, we'll have a live lesson, and I'll go through the answers to these. Please have them ready for 9 so I can check them before the class. Okay. Right, let me know if there's any issues, please. Okay, thanks, bye.